everyone. My name is Anton. And today, oh, actually, can I get that screen over there?
Sure. I think. Actually, I don't.
That over there. Probably not.
That's
Okay,
fine.
that's fine. That's fine.
Sorry.
Thank you. You're doing a great job.
That's marking the only time I'm going to say that.
All right, and today I'm going to talk to you about the code and keynote presentations. So in other words, it's a presentation about presentation or meta presentation. So first of all, let's talk about switches. So specifically switches in Ruby, when you need to turn on and off a feature. There is a Ruby gem called Flipper, and I will explain how to get started with Flipper. It's not really important how to get started with Flipper, but what's more important, how well you can follow the presentation. So let's get started. So first of all, in Flipper, you need to choose what storage you're gonna use, like where you're gonna store your switches. So Flipper supports multiple adapters. Here is 3 of them. So let's say we want a memory adapter to start with, right? So we pick that. And once we get the adapter, we just initialize the Flipper instance, and pretty much we've done. So if we want to put it into the Rails app, we probably want to stick that into the initializer. And we have to use the global variable for it so we can reference that instance later. So Flipper also comes with the graphical interface. So you can have your UI to enable features on and off. And it's very, very easy to integrate as well. So just in your routes file, you just mount that Flipper app, point to URL, and you're done. But how do we actually use the switcher in the code? It's fairly easy. You just call flipper.enabled method, and it tells you if it's on and off. Easy, right? So this is a quick example how to get started with Flipper and using global variable. But how can we refactor that code and not to use global variable, right? So to use a class. So let's call it a feature class. So first of all, we start with the empty class. And well, we need to actually reference to the Flipper instance, right? So we'll add a method called Flipper. So, and we'll need to initialize the gem instance, like so. But we forgot to include our memory adapter from beginning. So let's do that. We also added the require at the top. So, and now we have our feature class, and to use it, we just call feature.new.flipper.enabled and feature. It's kind of way too long, so let's see how we can make it better. So since we only need one feature class for the whole Rails application, we only need one instance. So let's make it a singleton and include a singleton module in it. So for those people who don't really know, singleton module guarantees you're only going to have one instance of that class, ever. So yeah, that's good. So, and just for our convenience, let's add some class methods, and we'll delegate that to the Flipper instance. So we just added class methods. So, and that's it. Now our feature class is complete. It's very simple, but it kind of gets too long. So let's just kind of hide the internals. So before you may remember, we could use the feature class like that, but now we simplified it, and it's way shorter and simpler. We just call feature.enabled. Nice and easy. So I've just showed you 2 code examples, which been spent over 18 slides. And I want you to think about how easy was it to follow. Because we get to actually what I'm going to talk about. I want to talk about 2 things. This is actually meant to be lightning talk, so yeah, so quick, all right? So I want to talk about 2 things. code highlight and animations in your Keynote like in your presentations, I guess, and specifically Keynote. So let's start with the code highlight in your presentation. So the simplest way to have to include highlighted code in the slides, in Keynote again specifically, is to copy it from the browser. So for example, like the most popular probably is easiest to just use GitHub. So you just go to any GitHub form, you type, the code you want, you click preview, you get your preview, you just copy over to the Keynote, and you get this. Yeah. Well, the simplest approach is not without its negatives. Yeah, right. Well, first of all, you need to scale it up. And the thing is, like all of the text you copy from the browser to the Keynote comes with the background, always. I couldn't figure out how to get rid of it. So you need to manually get rid of it, right? And if my slides work, there they go. Boom. So you get rid of that, background, and now it's kind of something you can be proud of, and you can use it in presentation. Well, I mean, you need to change the background probably, but anyway. So I mean, that's simple. The only thing you have to do is everything like scale it, change the background for every single time you're gonna use that block of code. So we just kind of annoying. Luckily, there is a simpler way, and there is a tool called Highlight. So Highlight is an open source tool, and what it does, it converts source code to different formats like HTML, SVG, like you name it, like there are lots of them. So the simplest way to get it on your Mac is just through the homebrew. Just call brew install highlight, and once it's installed, you have your highlight command. So highlight have a lot of different configurations, like to fit your need. So this is the configs that I've used for this presentation. So most importantly, the first line, the output format is RTF. It's a rich text format, I think it stands for. So this is so your Keynote can actually understand those colors encoded in the text. And the cool thing, I also set the font and font size to like something fixed. So you don't need to do that scaling and changing like we did with the browser. And there are like, this is like very small list of things, and you can include like line numbers, which is very useful. Like so you can refer to lines. I haven't used them, and lots of others. So explore it yourself. So highlight, you can run it over the file on your file system, which is kind of hard. Again, you need to run it, then copy it somewhere. But there is a easier way. So Mac comes with two very useful command line tools. It's called pb paste and pb copy. And what they do, they allow you to copy and paste from clipboard, from command line. So if we actually combine all of those commands together into one, you pretty much what it does, it's when you run like this command, it takes whatever is in clipboard, highlights it, and puts it back. And it's one single command. So I went even a step further and integrated that script in the Alfred. Alfred is a productivity app I use. So pretty much like the way I've done like this presentation. So I just copy code from my editor, run type RB, and paste it straight into the Keynote, and I get that like straight away. So it takes me like 2 seconds from my editor, highlight it, and paste it Keynote with all of the styles I want. Very easy. So, so yeah, just works. So you no more fiddling, and yeah, cool. It's good timing because now we do the second part. Well, yeah. So the second part is the animations, and specifically that's something that Adam mentioned and did last month. So that's kind of stolen idea from him. So there is one particular animation I want to talk about. It's called Magic Move. And it's very useful for code presentations because it's very simple and it gives you, a lot of value for, little time. So assume we have 2 slides and each one of them have a block of code. So once you add magic move transition, once you add magic move, the transition between them will look like that. So, and the cool thing, as I said, it works very well out of the box. Just a few clicks to get it working. So you get your keynote, you go to animate at the top right, then add effect, and then magic move. And there's like not much configuration. Probably what you need to worry about is maybe like the matching by object, word, or character. And that's it. So once you get done, once you sort it, and you're done. So back to our example. So without animation, the transition looks like that, right? So like, did you see what's changed? Like, could you tell me what's changed? So, it's very hard to follow. It feels like, big jump, and it's, hard to process it. So let's go back. So let's see the same, like, transition between the same 2 slides, but with that magic move. And now you get more context, what's happening, what's been added, what's been deleted. So, and that's the point. So, and you can go even backwards, yeah? Pretty cool. All right. One word. Continuity. I expect most laughs, come on. Disappointed. Anyway, almost finished. So you might also notice the beautiful style of the presentation, although that project I made it absolutely horrible. So anyway, it's completely, jeez. Dude, yeah, the note's not really helping. Oh, geez, I'm over the 10 minutes now. Shit. Anyway, you might be wondering and maybe a bit curious, like what template I've used for the keynote. Like, because I didn't go with the standard one, it's kind of custom colors. Yeah. So, last tip I can give you: just go to the internet, take the color palette. They're already a well predefined one, so I've used the colors lovers. So the one I've used is called Curiosity Killed. And yeah, you just take it, takes 2 minutes to actually put in your presentation, and it's, it gives you very good contrast. You need to worry about the projectors. But yeah, it takes a couple of minutes, so you don't need to actually go with your standard keynote template. You can just customize it very quickly, and it's actually, make it very personal and look great. And that is that. Thank you for your time. Yes, Brandon.
With Magic Brew, did you notice how the ant was like flying from a different part of the code in that last example?
Which one? This one? This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. There are bugs in it, so I actually managed to do it pretty well in the first part. The way it works, it tries to, because it's matching by characters or by word, those changes. So it pretty much, it finds the closest end and tries to move it like to the next slide. So the travel distance is the shortest. So, if we have it. Yeah, so it doesn't match perfectly all the time. It's kind of tried to do the best job. You can go extra effort, and so it kind of matches nicely, which is actually more work like for you to do. I didn't do that, so we get that. Because, it's meant to be something quick, yeah. Cool, all right, thank you.